Howdy y'all. I started typing this script basically immediately after I posted the Who is Rivera video, so I'm not sure how it did, but I hope it went well. We're going to be looking at both Falcon and Sparrow. Ooh. I'm fitting them both into one video because the theories on their own are too small to be discussed individually. Also, since they're technically two different theories, the video is titled Theory Time 2 and 3. Maybe I posted this in time for Falcon's birthday or maybe I didn't, we'll have to see. I used to hate Falcon because I thought he was generic, plus he was responsible for Rose's assassination. Well, not exactly responsible, but he carried it out. But like Rivera, some closer examination on him actually revealed to me that he had a pretty decent story arc. The same goes for Sparrow too. The Shadow was not letting any characters go unchecked. You get a story, you get a story, everyone gets a story. It's like a soap opera. That's one of my favorite parts about Entry Point. Some fellow entries and I have an inside running joke that Falcon is, he has big hips. Okay, sort of said it. Just look at those things. The joke originated from a picture of him that someone edited, and I launched a comment about it, and then other people launched a comment about it. It was a whole thing. Now, Sparrow. I loved Sparrow immediately. Sparrow has the loudest personality in Entry Point, which is saying a lot, considering the characters could have been fleshed out a bit more, but I am more than willing to give that a pass because Entry Point is literally a masterpiece of a game. I smiled at some of her dialogue in the withdrawal, which is saying a lot because I have a horrible smile, so I usually try not to. In the developer notes for April Fool's 2020, International Sparrow Day, my favorite holiday, one of the Sparrow declarations were, quote, "Halcyon nerds are outlawed everywhere, especially Falcon," end quote, which leaves me to believe there is a rivalry between Sparrow and Falcon. That's funny to imagine, both of them going back and forth. Falcon clearly getting pissed and just trying to respond seriously, but no matter what he says, Sparrow just retaliates with something stupid, like nerd. They are both pilots, although Falcon doesn't main in piloting. Anyways, I am getting off topic, so let's quickly jump into this. Obviously there are spoilers for Entry Point ahead. Theory time! Let's kick off with Falcon's role in the story. Falcon is another background character whose purpose is to do background character things. Be highly respected, do something, and then die. You did a good job being backgroundy, Falcon. In all seriousness, Falcon doesn't have a single speaking role in the story, but he's the escape pilot in the Black Site, assassinates Rose with an unknown operative in Pyre, and is the first in command at the base in The Scientist, where he canonically dies. Oh, he dies in The Scientist? Yeah, I know that, thanks to the bearer of Entry Point secrets, aka the Lock. Fun fact, I actually found out about the Lock one day before the Lock ban was lifted. The day it was lifted was also when I decided I wanted to become a theorist. Not only is his file itself interesting, but if you look around the gala where his lock code is found, you'll find something intriguing. Let's start with what his file contains. Turns out, Falcon was once a member of Steel Cove. He was given an order by a CO, and for whatever reason, Falcon refused to comply. Apparently by not complying, he accidentally got the CO killed. Whoopsie. Got a blast, said Falcon, now being hunted by the government. So, we already have something juicy so far. We can confirm that Falcon is either a very heart or headstrong person. The logical thing would have been to obey, but he took the risk and didn't follow through with the command. Unfortunately, it wasn't worth it because he's on the run now. Falcon somehow stumbled upon Halcyon, because next thing he knew, he was a Halcyon operative. I personally headcanon that Falcon was like lost in the snow somewhere. Then a car pulls up, and it's Halcyon, and they're like, "Come with us, you have nowhere else to go," and he was like, fine. By the way, a headcanon is kind of a theory. It's supported by little or no evidence, but it also has nothing against it. So it's not true, but you can still imagine it. That's where the file ends, but there's so much more. Want to know the name of the lock code for his file? Outcast. Did you get that? With that alone, it isn't hard to speculate what's next. Obviously, transitioning from a paramilitary organization to a criminal organization is a very sketchy move, but he had nowhere else to go. Of course, other operatives would be doubting and distrustful of him. Like the lock code may suggest, he was outcasted from the others and looked down upon. The firepaw of the clan cats. If you got that reference, cool. But wait, didn't Falcon have a lot of respect? Yes, that he later would earn. Falcon soon proved he was more than worthy to be an operative, quickly rising to the top and becoming the best of the best. His skillful tactics, quiet ways, and headstrong personality made him a great operative and a great next potential director. Where he was once spat upon, he was now greeted with nods of respect whenever he entered a room. And he was surely satisfied with this, right? Wrong. Falcon was far from happy in Halcyon. How do I know this? Do you recall me saying the location of his lock code was intriguing? In the gala, if you place a microcam in the left of the pillar in the VIP area at the edge of the map, you'll see the words in red, Outcast. But that's not all. There are other words in red scattered throughout the map. The entry point wiki puts it in the best way. Quote, "They know" is found on the wall left of the spawn. "Can I escape" is found in the small entrance room with the stationary guard on the right. "Where can you hide" is found at the back wall of the extraction area next to the drop-off zone. "Who can you trust" is found in the corner of the main staff room, which is closest to the drop-off zone. "Is this really it" is found at the back security section, next to the right door of the room where either the camera operator or the vault spawns. End quote. That's rather interesting, wouldn't you agree? It's not hard to connect the dots either. These are clearly Falcon's thoughts. Not only can this apply to what he would be thinking whilst on the run, in which closing these thoughts would result in "Steel Cove knows, can I escape them? Who would trust a criminal, and am I really on the run forever?" But these could also be his thoughts during his early days as a Halcyon operative. Other operatives know, can I escape this? Who can I tell? Am I really a criminal now? He is like Rivera, trapped. He doesn't want to be an operative. He doesn't want this. One day he was with the government, the next against it. But he doesn't have a choice. Halcyon is the only place where he can be safe. So he's making the best of it, but he'll never be satisfied with it. He just manages through days, which turns into months, years, until he is slain in the scientist. Death finally freeing him from his daily stuck torture. But here's something sweet to make up for that downer conclusion. It's not hard to see Rivera was treated like a rabid animal. Seriously, I cover it plenty in the first theory time. Between the locked doors and the vent to slide necessities in, she's clearly trapped and treated like a dog, something Falcon can relate to. I'd imagine he'd use his turn to guard her to make her feel a little better, or talk to her through the vent so she's more at ease, just offering comfort. As much as I'd like to think this is true, I don't have a lot of evidence supporting it, so it's gonna have to be put on the shelf as a headcanon for now. It's a little ironic actually, in the scientist 2 souls are freed that day, one by Halcyon, one by death. Theory time, it's Sparrow's turn. When Finch defects to Phoenix, Sparrow is first seen in The Withdrawal as his getaway pilot, dropping her silly comments and remarks. Sparrow is rather risk-taking, but none of them have ever caught up to her. She's also the getaway pilot in The Scientist and the SCRS. Once again, the trusty Dusty Lock has got my back. In the auction, you can find her lock code, Pearl, which is her last name. It shares she was first spotted by Halcyon as an enemy pilot in 2014, and is the best pilot Phoenix has despite her being so young. She was recruited in 2013, holy cow! She was only 18 when she began this whole criminal biz. She had just left her teenagehood. Anyways, September 9th, 2016. An assassination attempt was launched which destroyed her helicopter, but she survived, before she was in the US Air Force. The file not only directly gives me the question, but also the answer. It states, quote, "It's unknown how or why she came to work for Phoenix, as she disappeared from the Air Force Base and was classified as a missing person in December 11th, 2013. End quote. Yes, I intend on answering how Sparrow got into Phoenix. It had to be sudden, as her file states her disappearance was. I doubt Jackdaw just snuck into the station and approached her randomly and said, "Hey kid, wanna join my criminal organization that's trying to take down another criminal organization because I have anger issues?" And her response is just, hell yeah. No, Jackdaw can't just waltz right into some Air Force station. And even if he got someone to sneak in, why would he go through all that trouble on the unlikely chance that she would say yes? Oh, but we're not at a dead end yet. Remember when I said the file gave us our answer along with our question? Quote, "Unfortunately, our investigation has not turned up any close family members that can be used for leverage." End quote. Seriously? Halcyon, a criminal organization filled with the best cons, criminals, and techies who are so powerful that they've outsmarted Steel Cove, a paramilitary organization founded by the government, and yet they can't track some randos down? Why? Well, the answer to that is actually pretty obvious. Sparrow's family is dead. Yikes, that escalated quickly. Allow me to explain. Sparrow was a completely normal civilian before she joined Phoenix. She was then classified as a missing person, as nobody knew where she was. That's the purpose of being classified as a missing person, in case you didn't know. That isn't any reason for her family to decide to hide, because as far as they are aware, they have nothing to hide from. Halcyon found a paranoid millionaire with a big old steel door who was intentionally hiding from them. So some civilians that are randomly going about their day shouldn't be that hard. So the only answer is they have to be dead. How they died I can't really answer since it's not important. All that matters is that they're dead. Something happened that tragically wiped out the last of who Sparrow loved. When Sparrow hears of the news, she'll obviously have to be distraught. Distraught enough to vanish without a word, just to go on a simple walk or something like that to clear her mind. Unfortunately, the blue girl is feeling a little bit blue. Now this, while she's out all alone outside her station, is the perfect chance for Jackdaw to approach her. And so he does. He offers her the position as a pilot in Phoenix. Now, normally if someone approached you with an offer to do some shady business, you would say no. If you're not a part of that majority, you're probably on the run from the government right now. Keep in mind, as made clear by her comment on bird names being stupid on International Sparrow Day, Sparrow isn't the brightest. Yes, I know all the extra Sparrow dialogue for April Fools was uncanon, but I think it was meant to add to her character. Combined with her careless personality, she doesn't take orders too seriously. That's something we get to actively see, as she's not afraid to take her time, even if Finch's life on the line. She's far from concerned when she's running behind in the withdrawal. Oh my god, I couldn't pronounce withdrawal if it was for my life. I have trouble with some words, especially my THs. Anyways, she was popping jokes and even stopping for donuts while on a mission. I'm not actually sure if she did that. She might have been joking. Either way, it shows she isn't worried about running late. And in the military, you can't just respond to an order with a joke. That's suicide in the Air Force. Although she loves piloting, she has to strictly follow orders and be respectful, and everyone's so serious, which isn't appreciated by Sparrow. She's young, and definitely a teensy bit dumb, so Sparrow just thinks it's no fair. Her stupid age is probably why Jackdaw even chose to recruit her. To add to that, dialogue is exchanged between Finch and Sparrow in The Withdrawal. Finch begins with quote, "My job is done. What about yours, Sparrow?" "Is that how you talk to your getaway pilot?" "Yes." End quote. But that isn't all. If you play The Withdrawal today, that's where the dialogue ends. But when it first came out, the dialogue was different. It went on a bit longer. After Finch says yes, Sparrow says, quote, "This is fair," which is an odd extra detail. Why would she say, "this is fair"? Because that's how she's supposed to be talked to in a job like that. Definitely since she was bugging him for running late. Or that's how she was once used to being talked to. Not exactly being fond of the strict rules of the US Air Force, and being greeted with a better opportunity, she'd practically jump on Jackdaw's offer. And we get to see that Jackdaw isn't very strict with Sparrow. He's serious, but hardly strict. When Sparrow does something wrong or risky, all that happens is Jackdaw gets mad for like 3 seconds. And then she gets zero punishment. I guess to Jackdaw, all that matters is that she gets the job done. What about the criminal part? Well, clearly, Sparrow didn't care. She may not be thinking straight after receiving the awful news of her family's passing. Either way, she ended up in Phoenix, and she doesn't regret it, unlike nearly all the characters in this game. Seriously, there are as many people that hate the criminal organization life in Phoenix and Halcyon as there are the ones that don't mind it, which honestly I think is super cool and refreshing. Realistically, barely any outlaws are heartless. Obviously there are exceptions, but the characters in Entry Point are still very much human, with human feelings and human thoughts. And for a Roblox game, that's an incredible amount of detail, which is only part of what makes Entry Point so special. Summary time. Falcon was once a member of Steel Cove before having a falling out with his OC about an order. This accidentally results in the death of the CO in question, and Falcon is on the run. He runs into Halcyon, and with no other place to go, he reluctantly joins them as an operative. He's distrusted and discriminated against, seen as an outcast, but he proves he is a great operative and rises his way to power and respect. But he hates it. He hates being in Halcyon. He just wanted a normal life. He never meant harm by disobeying that order. After years of this pain, he's freed in the Scientist, greeted by the sweet release of death. Sparrow was a member of the US Air Force and hated it in there. All the commands, respect, and rules just aren't her cup of tea. Then after learning of her family's passing, she takes a walk and grieves quietly. Now since Sparrow is all alone, Jackdaw has the chance to approach her. He offers her the job, and not caring how illegal it is due to her grief, she accepts, where she soon finds herself to be a survivor of the Shadow War. And that's that. With Falcon and Sparrow's contrasting personality, it makes sense for them to have a rivalry against each other. And Sparrow's no on International Sparrow Day makes it clear one definitely exists. I do believe that Jackdaw fills the role as a fatherly figure to Sparrow, or at the very least some kind of affection was set up. She was a part of his squad after all, and Jackdaw knew her longer than he knew Finch, who he definitely cared for, as well. Maybe Jackdaw was easy on her because he cared for her. He has made it clear he's greatly persuaded by feelings. And can I just say, Falcon literally has the worst name ever. It was like he was named to be an operative. Blake Danger? Really? Did his parents hate him? He sounds like Nick Fury's cousin. Well, I hope you liked the whole series. If you believe there's something not right about what I said, absolutely feel free to object. I love criticism and civilly debating thoughts. Well, see y'all.